Good evening, everyone. My name is Artheta Peters, and I am a Cleveland city resident. I have lived here all my life. I got into home care 15 years ago. I decided to do home care when my father became ill with cancer, and I knew that he wanted to be at home and receive his care by people who knew him best. And the person that knew him best was his youngest child, and that's me. I spent a year and a half caring for my father and ensuring that he got everything he needed until the day that his illness would take him away from us. And in doing so, I learned that being at home and suffering illness is a humane way for people to go through struggle, to be around people that they know, to be in familiar surroundings as they forget what was their norm. When my father passed, I continued in home care to make a difference in other people's lives, such as our elders who have sacrificed so much on the front line, for us, the youth that are coming behind them. I also do it for veterans who come home from war, as well as children with mental disabilities and handicaps. I go into their homes using my own transportation, where I provide not only nutritious meals, but I check their equipment that they use on a daily basis to ensure that they get around safely. I also do their grocery shopping. I help them with sanitary conditions. And in doing all of this, I receive $8.10 an hour. $8.10 an hour with a family of 6 children. It was very, very difficult to raise them. I have 2 that are adults now, and 4 are still at home. And I can tell you on $8.10 an hour, I've had to stand in many food bank lines to make sure that my kids could eat. There's been plenty of days where there were a disconnection notice in the mailbox and having to get on my knees and pray to God that a miracle happened. It's been plenty of days that my children had to go without clothes and shoes because the minimum wage of $8.10 doesn't cover your children's needs. It covers your basic needs, a place to lay your head, but what about lights and gas? What about food? What about clothes? What about the time where it comes when your child is a senior and you want to get senior pictures, but you can't afford them? That's one memory that you lose. In being a home health aide, you have to work more than 40 hours a week just to afford your rent. So you're talking somewhere between 80 hours a week or plus. During that period of time, my children are left in the hands of their older sibling because I can't afford childcare. And in doing so, I see so many children in our neighborhood who are roaming the streets all times of day and night because their parents are having to work 2 and 3 jobs like myself to support our family. On $8.10 an hour, you can barely afford to keep food in your refrigerator for 2 weeks. That leaves 2 more weeks that you have to struggle and decide whether your children are going to eat and you lose a meal, or whether you're just going to have noodles and sauce, and that's going to be the meal for the next 5 days. It's not fair to hardworking women and men, such as home care workers who provide service to those in need, and yet our needs are not met. We've gone as far as City Hall, as far as the State House, demanding a living wage for workers who work every day. That's right. And it's high time that we don't just talk about it in this room, but that we hit the streets and that we demand from these politicians that they give us a living wage. The work that we do for the backbone of this community should be compensated with a living wage. And I'm not talking 10 cents, I'm not talking 20 cents, but I'm talking about an increase that people can live off of, $15 an hour. That's not asking for too much, that's asking for your fair share. So I call all of us to stand together, not just for my family of 6 who has gone without food, that has gone without shoes, that have gone and sit in the dark with candlelight because I couldn't pay the light bill because I had to pay the rent. Many a days my clients had to go without because I didn't have the gas in my car to go and run and pick up medication from the drugstore. Plenty of my clients have gone without because I couldn't make it to work that day because I didn't have gas. Now, it's not my consumer's fault or my client's fault that they didn't receive care that day, so that meant that they didn't get a nutritious meal. That meant that they may have forgotten their medication. That may meant that they failed that day because no one there was there to help them get out of the bed. And because of low wages, it is causing a domino effect, not just on the caretaker, but on the person who is receiving the care, on the children. It's having an effect on our community. It's having an effect on our self-esteem and our morale. Because when you can't make a living wage and you can't feed your family, that takes your self-esteem way down. And just as the preacher said, it can put you in a place where you're struggling to decide what is right and what is wrong. What do I do to feed my family?
That's right.
So I come today to tell you that people like myself who work hard every day to provide a service for those that I respect more than anything in the world, who have done so much for me, who lead the way, who teach us, how to stand, how to talk, how to pray. These are the people that I stand for. These are the people that I want to continue to give service to in a way that will be helpful to them. And in order to do so, I need a living wage. 18 won't do. 15 an hour is what we're standing and fighting for. And I encourage each of you to stand with us and fight with us until we get $15 an hour for home care workers and low-wage workers across this great city of Cleveland. Thank you.
We can do better than that. Are you going to help fight?